Hi there. Happy Thursday. It's Samantha from Soul Pathways. And, I was sitting here at my pond. And, I got to thinking. Well, no, I didn't get to thinking nothing. I was told that there was a topic that might be worthy of discussion. How do I get past the fear factor? How have I become I guess as fearless as I have, or how do I get beyond the fear? I guess within the situations. But before I go there, my name is Samantha, and I'm from Soul Pathways, and I'm an earth angel and a chosen one of the 144, anointed child of God. And I'm here to share my unconventional love story. It's a story of love, of God, of myself, and, family, friends, and eventually, I do believe, romantic love. But it's got to start somewhere, right? And it's usually with God, then yourself, and then it leads to something more. But you got to have all the rest first. And if you're not sure if you want to follow me or listen in, I guess listening to my video number 2, or why you might want to listen to my story. The first part of number 2, the number 2 video, speaks to about 30 minutes to why. It's my sole purpose to share my story. I'm sorry about my crazy hair. I washed my hair and I didn't do anything with it. But, I did it, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything more. And I said to Spirit, and I just put my finger towards the light socket in the wall, and I went, like, I look like I stuck my finger in the light socket. But, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I love myself, and that's what it is. So, anywho, if I could just get to stop eating the hair, that would be good, so I could talk. There are different versions to me. Been going through my journey with God since birth, and obviously we're here on earth to grow our souls, and we do that through different things that we go through, and they're usually not small things, they're big things, and a lot of the time they're not positive. A lot of the things we tend to go through are negative, and that's been my case. Unfortunate but true, and I know I don't look like anything that I've been through, and that's just the anointing showing. And anointings are given to help people who go through long periods, long seasons, should I say, who have to deal with really long seasons of warfare, and to help them overcome, because they have big callings in their life, and that would be me. And one of the callings is to share my story. Why? Because I'm to share the things that I've been through, but not only that, but how I healed them. And God got me, God, my Father. The word fear came up. Fact of the matter is, most of us stay put in our lives because of fear. Day in and day out, we lead lives that we feel are trivial or boring, or we stay stuck in dead-end positions, relationships, spots, because we're too afraid to do the thing that we already innately know or feel. I'm getting a ringing in my divine masculine ear, which is our action-oriented side. we know we should be doing, but we don't do it because of that fear. Fear. Well, first let me say we live in a world that is almost illusionary. What does that mean? Because everything seems so real, doesn't it? I mean, look, this feels real, the grass feels real, everything seems so real, right? Yeah, it sure does. But what if I said to you, the people who did the biggest things in this world knew the secret that if you can see it here, you could have it out here, which means our world is very malleable. If it's so real, how is it so malleable? It is real, but it's energetic. That's what that means. It's energetic. Like clay, energetic clay, you can mess with your world. And I mean that in every sense of the word. And how do we mess with it? Well, one way is through our emotions. And since we're talking about fear today, I'll say this. The society we live in tends to have us operating out of fear mainly. So when we're the type of people here who will spend more time thinking about the things that held us back, kicked us where it counted, knocked us down, hurt us. We fear the things that have happened in the past because we don't want them to repeat, right? We fear the things that could happen because what if they do? What ifs? No, what ifs? We're a worrywart society, we lack faith, in the grander scheme of things. The possibilities, rather than dwelling in the what if they don't work out, what if they do work out? We're not that type. So because of that thinking, that energetic, back to the energetic clay, it's molded by that emotion. I said one of the things that molds it is our emotions. So our emotion of fear develops what we see and hear into our reality. And it cages you into it, basically. So I give you the tool in understanding that how you think about things really helps you unlock yourself from that cage, because only you control whether or not you decide to fear how you respond to things or not. And yes, it's reprogramming your mindset, and I can help with that. I have a master's in counseling. I have a certification in law of attraction, not to mention I am a study of the ascended masters, my mentor being Jesus, not to mention many of the others, some of the greatest, Confucius, Buddha, you name it, I've sat with them. One of my favorite is the picture of a downtown New York busy Minute Street, and you have chaos going on, and then you have one person sitting in the middle of all that chaos meditating. That's me. And there goes a bumblebee. Confirmation. It can be done. You can be the difference. You can be the one person meditating in the busyness and the chaos of what this world is. This energetic plane. You don't, even though we're all the same energy, you don't have to hold the same. But you do have to think different. You do have to understand that fear is false. Fear as an anonym. False evidence appearing real. I learned that a long time ago. We talk ourselves into believing things because we believe only the things we see, but you have to understand that is backwards. It's ass frickin' backwards. That is not how things work. Einstein had it best said. You have to believe it through imagining it in order to make it exist, to bring it in. It's the art of manifestation. So, the things you fear, if you fear something, you bring it in. It's like you flick on a light switch, an activator, you've activated it. So if you fear becoming, you know, broke, you're broke, boom, you just activated it. If you fear getting hit, boop, you just activated it. When do we do that? When you're in the thing, or just about to enter the thing. That's when you have to be aware enough to stay cool enough, like cool beans, and act different than you ever have before. Who's cool under pressure? I've always been somebody who's capable of working under pressure very well. Although I never wanted to be an ER doctor, that was the first thing I thought of. Like, I would be excellent with those patients coming in with the 20 gunshot wounds. I would be the one who would be like, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, you do this, you know, sort of thing. That's me. I'm not the one, no, what do we do, what do we do, la, 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 la. That's not me. So the first thing with fear is stay calm. Don't lose your mind. When you're about to enter into a period of time or going towards something that normally you would be fearful of, you have to react different. Like, how do I handle it? I give it to God. And I always say, you're better at handling this than I. And my bills have always found a way to get paid. Always. I'm always taken care of. Always and always. I'm always protected. I'm always loved. A way is always made. The things you say matter. The things you speak, the things you think, they all correlate. That's why I was saying in another video that you have so many people that say the law of attraction doesn't work. Well, that's probably because there's more to doing it than meets the eye. It isn't just saying it. It's how you think, how you speak, how you emote, and then action. And they have to be in alignment. They really do. You can't think one way, speak another way, write another way, and then act a different way and think you're going to get what it is you're going to get. It's going to be a screwy result. And yeah, maybe that overwhelms you a little. That's why it takes a minute to get good at becoming somebody who manifests anything that they really want right away. And if you are doing that, kudos to you. Share your stories, please do. And the better and more often you do it, the quicker it gets. I mean, you'll be able to say, yeah, can I have this by tomorrow? And sure as anything, you'll have it by tomorrow. Because one of the other things that's really important for manifestation is detachment. You can't be attached to any certain outcome that you want. And for a world that loves to attach itself to everything, the art of detachment in love and money and everything is an art that needs to be learned. We live in a world that is all about fast results, fast this, fast that, overnight this, overnight that. And sometimes that's good. And expressively, if God says it, or your higher power, whatever that is for you, says that that's what's needed, you're going to get it. Regardless if you believe it or not. I mean, if it's God's thing for you, that's what's going to happen. But if this is something you want on the side, your art for manifestation really needs to be honed. I spent many decades being able to manifest in 24 hours. It took me about 24 hours with most small things. And I knew it because I clocked it. I'd ask for it one day, and within 24 hours, I'd have that thing, whatever small thing. It's usually small things. Sometimes 48, 72 within a week. And the larger the item or the more blocks I had, it would take longer. And I knew, and I could see that, and I knew it. And then it would indicate to me where my blocks were. And I would know from that where I had to work on myself. And I would try. It took me a very long this whole thing, because I was doing it alone. Nobody helped me. God was the only one who helped me. And I didn't openly go to God and say, whoa, can you help me with the art of manifestation? Can you show me this, and this? No, I might be doing that a little bit now, but, you know, I got a lot of it down now. A lot more now than I did even a decade ago. So when it comes to fear, it's about changing your mindset and understanding that there's really nothing to be fearful of. If it's about sharing emotions, understand that there's nothing in this world to be fearful of. If it's about sharing your emotions in front of people, then you might want to. Well, now my counseling hat's going on. Oh Lord. Okay, so now I'm like thinking, well, you might want to understand it within yourself why that fear's there. If it has anything to do with, you know, your emotional or mental body, you might want to go and try and find the root of it to heal that first. Okay? Understand when it comes to sharing anything. You don't need any validation from outside sources when it comes to you. You are your validation. You validate you. You don't need friends. You don't need family. You don't need nothing. You need God or a higher power and yourself. That's it. That's why I've said since video 1, the first thing you're to do is start working on your connection with your higher self, and your connection with Source, whatever that is for you. And then with Source, you would start working on your own self-love. And we can go in depth more on all of this. I could go step by step even, but fear of sharing self, fear of emoting. I hear my turtles again. My ancestors are coming back out. I love you. You're safe. So, fear of sharing any part of yourself in a world where you have suffered at the hands of others. They haven't handled you right. It's going to be about healing those wounds, forgiving self and forgiving others, working through any anger you might have for these people, recognizing where that came from, and again, forgiving them. It is super important that you don't hold animosity and grudges for other folks, especially if they've not done anything further to you. If you, I know I used in one of the videos the backpack example. When we hold grudges, it's like putting rocks in a backpack that we have to carry around. It only hurts you. You think that other person who you're holding all that anger and resentment towards feels any of the weight of that? No, not at all. They're living their life just fine. Only you feel that. And trust me, and I'm going to go a bit further. Now I'm taking off my counseling hat and I'm putting on my spiritual hat. If you're going into dark arts because you're like, well, yes, they will, because I'm going to do this, or this. You know, projecting out or using any form of dark arts, black magic, you know, to make them pay or make them feel for whatever they've done. Trust me when I say, that kind of thing you will pay for too. God sees it all. And when you do things to hurt other people, it always comes back to you. In one way, shape, or form. It does. And even if it isn't in this lifetime, it will come back. It will. How do I know? Because I've went through things. I'm going through it now. I've lived many, many lives as an ancient soul. I don't think that it's worth it, but for those of you who want to continue, it's a free world. Nobody can stop you except God. And trust me, at some point He will. And that's enough on that. What I can say is the best way to work through things where people have hurt you is to love on yourself and then get to a point where you can forgive yourself and them. Because the way you're capable of exiting out of a relationship is the way you're going to enter into your next one. Whatever that is, a friendship or a love relationship or a familial relationship, it doesn't matter. But how you exit out of one is how you will enter into the next. So you want to do it in a good way. Trust me. Because you want good things for yourself, don't you? That's why I said it's really only you. You're only hurting you when you do bad things, and you're only helping you when you do good things. So you're helping you when you really work on all this fearful mindset stuff. I've been in a lot of situations that had me shaking in my boots. I'll never forget. It was 2012. Between, I'm going to give a time range because I'm not certain of the time so many years later. But it was between 8 and 10 a.m. I had been up all night long being tortured by a drunk father who had torn apart the entire house. And my mother was in my bedroom with me and my child. She had my son on her lap. He was scared. I was scared. My mother was scared. My mother was drunk. And my father had us all trapped in my back bedroom, and I had my door locked. And I'll never forget it because it reminded me of the scene from The Shining when she was in the bathroom and he used an axe and cut that hole right through and stuck his face in because he broke a hole in the door and stuck his face in. And it was in that moment that he threatened to kill me, my mother, and my son. And he started slowly, because him and my mother were up the stairs. He told me he was going to go up the stairs and get a gun and kill us all. This is on a police report somewhere if they kept it. My fish just jumped out of the water. Because I wrote, it must have been an 8-page report that day. My mother wrote a report too. It was in that moment I had an opportunity when he left to stand there paralyzed with fear or do something. And I did something barefoot. I grabbed my mother and my son and I hauled the asses through a war-torn house and out the front door to my vehicle. And we had to go right by my father, who was going up the stairs, very impaired. And I did that with the power of every singular spiritual ancestor, with God, with all my angels backing me. And I'm getting chills through my body because I know they love me and they love all of us. And I got me, my mom, and my son out of that situation. The fear was real in that moment. But there are times when fear doesn't have to be real. Like I said, my bills are coming due. And I'm homeless. Do I sit around here and behave as I normally behave, or do I give it up to God? I give it up to God. I give it up to God. Because fear will trap you in a state, a lower vibrational state. It will. It will keep you low vibrating. It will deny you access to the things you really want and desire unless you take the steps, no matter how small they are, towards moving out of that fear. And one of my biggest fears always was being homeless, and I've been homeless for years now. Years. I'm 4 years in on this one. And then God helped me redefine what home was, and it doesn't feel so homeless. Home is where, it's not a place, it's where He is and where my heart is. I realize home isn't necessarily a dwelling. I mean, so many people live in odd places. I mean, and you know, just because I've been living in a hotel for 4 years, does that really mean I'm homeless? It just means that I haven't bought a physical home. I don't know. How you look at things shifts your reality, right? If you choose to be embarrassed about how you're living, then you're going to develop an entire reality around that screams, I'm so embarrassed about how I live. Or if you embrace that reality and really embrace it and flow with it, you'll develop a whole new reality because of it. You know? And so I embrace, I guess, hotel living. That's what I did. I made my room a home for me and my child. I had to. I even call it home. I have signs in my room that call our space home. I treat it like home, because home is wherever my kid is. Home is like spending time with your people. For me, it's not about a place. It's about who you're with, who's stuck by you, who's real. That's home. God's home. In all essence, for me, God is my home. I was just telling him this morning how much I wished he was real so I could give him a hug and tell him how thankful I was for him. I can't tell you how many times I had that talk with him. But for real, I mean, when it comes to house and home, I've asked for a house, I've asked for the car, but you know, at the end of the day, it's about the people. The people matter the most, the memories, the things, the service. All the rest will come. So if you take anything from anything I've said, you know, the fear factor in life is basically, it's when you challenge it within your own self by doing things different. When you come to a place where normally you would fear, and you say, no, not today, Satan. Not today. I'm going to do it different. And then you keep doing it. Even with your knees knocking, you do it. You do it, and you do it, and you do it, and then the next thing you know, that's your new norm, and you move on to the next thing you fear, and before long, you're saying things like, I'm fearless. And before long, when you're saying that, you become fearless almost, like not much fears you. Or scares you, excuse me. Especially when you're walking with God, and God's like, I got you. And He does, He's got you. He loves you. The wind, that's God. Confirmation 3047. And it isn't just me, it's all of us. All of us. So, if you want to know how I've become fearless, it's because of God. He put me in some situations that scared the F out of me. And I handled them different than I ever have before. I faced them. He held my hand, but I faced him. Shaking, but I faced him. I heard rather aggressively. Yes, I did, but I faced them. Because at some point, you just get tired of being scared of everything. And I'm not somebody who's going to let people bully me. I got a little turtle over here. He's spying on me. And nobody should have to deal with bullies. Nobody. I mean that. I was always told that bullies are people that need the most love because they're the ones that are the most insecure. And it's true. People who bully are the ones that have the most insecurities. And they need the most love. They need the most prayers because they've got a lot of dark in them. But when when they're coming at me and coming at me and coming at me, and they're hitting my car even, I'm facing that. You're not doing that to me. You're not. You're not going to get away with jack. And I even had it at home. My father, he bullied me. My sister, she bullied me. My brothers, they bullied me. They would pick on me with everything. But it also showed me the places where I needed to heal. I needed to accept the fact that, I am who I am. They picked on me about, being on Medicaid. They picked on me for needing help from the government. They picked on me for being overweight at the time. They picked on me for being sensitive. They picked on me, they were about to make me homeless, and they picked on me for being homeless. And, that just showed me a lot more about them than it ever did about me. These are people that were supposed to love me. These are people that were supposed to care for me. And my kiddo. We're supposed to be safe places, and instead they became places that I felt I needed to protect myself from, which is a shame. So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, I do pray for the people in my life that have hurt me, because hurt people do hurt people. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, I'll say this: the strongest people you are ever going to know are often the quietest, the softest, and the most unassuming. Even though I was forged in darkness and sealed in light and balanced in both, nobody knew who I was because I was that quiet to begin with. Strength doesn't come from being loud. Confidence isn't something you roar. Sometimes confidence comes from collecting yourself after being thrown out of a house where you've been being tortured and saying fine and never coming back. It's accepting where you are and being okay, saying, I love you. We'll start again tomorrow. We can do this. And never giving up on you. True strength, real strength. It comes from the heart. When your strength is tied directly to your heart, you're unstoppable. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you do things with love, in the name of doing things for the right reasons, for a higher calling, nothing's going to stop you, and nothing will ever harm you. When you're trying to be an activist for the betterment of all, trying to be the sun for a sad state of people, and you've got another group of people who are trying to make you feel scared about doing that. There's no way you'll be stopped if you try. If you go up against your own fear. Nevertheless, that's what I got. I'm yapping. I'm yapping. Anyway, you don't have to let fear lead you around on a leash. There's nothing to fear in this world if you really look at it. You create your world. And you can have, do, or be anything if you believe it. I'm possible just simply says, I am possible, and everything you want is possible. You're your only limit. Don't let things that are illusionary get in your way. As long as you're willing to step forward, do things differently, reprogram your mind, put in a little work effort. Those things that you write down on that piece of paper or scribble on that napkin or write in that book that you store under your bed or between the mattress every night, they're more than dreams. They're your reality. And that I promise you. I'm going to let you go. And perhaps we will. We'll go into steps on each thing, on how to move forward with each thing. Because maybe now it's not so much of knowing what I did, but how I did it. I love you. And I mean that. You have a wonderful Thursday. May blessings flow to you and through you. And always, always. Till next time. Bye.